But you get a guy like Tristan, man. He dominates in the run game. He dominates pass blocking. This is a special talent. And, you know, he's a top 5 rated offensive tackle, top 15 prospect overall. And you can make a strong case. He's right up there with the J.C. Lathams, the Tommy Brockermeyers, with any other offensive tackle in the class of 2021.
Man, that's saying a lot because, like, both of those dudes are amazing athletes.
They grown men, man.
Golly. Like, I look at Alabama's recruiting. Like, I did this segment, like, in April, right? Because I watched Alabama go to 55th in the rankings with, like, 1 commit. And I'm like, yo, is the pandemic actually catching up with Saban? Does he actually know how to do this in the internet? And Saban said, yo, RJ, watch this. By August, we got the number 1 class in all of college football.
I mean, come on, man. We know by now. Don't ever doubt Nick Saban, man. He's going to get it done
though.
No matter how late the process it is.
Man, I did it, though. Like, I doubted the man. And he showed up. Like, because they got dudes. Like, I was watching tape of Anquin Barnes last night. I'm going, oh, my God. Like,
yeah, we dropped our Alabama All-State team, man. You best believe he was on there.
Yeah, I mean, and now with JaQuincy McCrinsky and like these all namers that we got, man. Like, I had to talk about
Ajayi Hall. That's my guy right
there.
He's saucy, man.
With Look, with Korey, like, and then Christian Leary, and they talk about Christian Leary playing the capstone. I'm like, it's nasty.
It's nuts, man. And they're gonna have Bryce Young slinging it to him. So,
dude, it's stupid down there. You know, like between him and DJ, I'm gonna have so much fun because, like,
hey, real quick, dude. How like listen, we know DJ was that dude, DJ Uiagalelei. I don't want people to say I can't say his last name, man. I've been doing it for years. But how special was that, dude? Like, hey, you're in the game, man. Trevor's got COVID. You're in, DJ, and all he did was go for what, like 400 and something in South Bend.
Yes, and he was cooking them. Like, all right, like this is what I have a hard time getting across to people because I've said DJ is. Let me go at it like you got it. DJ Uiagalelei is
nailed it, dog.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pounding you right now. Like, I can't tell you how hard that was to learn to say.
Yeah, hey, one take, man. I'm impressed, man.
So, like, we were talking, like, I'm trying to tell people he's more talented than Trevor. And I said, no, he's not.
No, he is.
Yes! Please, tell the people. Tell the people who this man is.
Hey, I went on Twitter, man, and I told my boy, I said, hey, if DJ was eligible for the draft this coming year, he would be the number 1 pick.
Yes! I mean, and look, 6'5", moves well, got a cannon for an arm. Yeah. If he doesn't show out against Boston College, they lose that game.
Oh, for sure. You know, their defense did not show up that game.
Right, and neither did Travis. Like, Travis is out there catching passes. He has to catch passes.
He had,
Yeah, like, and he had to catch passes from somebody. And they, and the other thing about this that I love is Dabo didn't flinch. Like, he's like, nope, Trevor's sitting this one out. I don't care if he is going to be COVID-19 clear. He's sitting this one out.
That's the thing, man. You go to a program like St. John Bosco, and Jason Negro, one of the best coaches, if not the best in high school football, but they're playing elite competition week in and week out. So that played a huge role having DJ ready to play in a moment like that. Because really, I mean, obviously it's a little different in college, but no moment is too big for DJ, man. And that just shows you, man, playing for a big-time high school program like St. John Bosco, that's going to prepare you for big-time games on Saturday, no doubt.
So I want to stay in Clemson for a second before we move to Quinn Ewers and his rating and that just being ridiculous for Ohio State.
Oh, that kid's special, man.
Oh, man. But like Big Dave Uiagalelei.
I love Big Dave,
right?
Man. That's my guy.
Is taking like the selfie, the quarantine, the social distance selfie with Korey Foreman.
Yeah.
For I forget which game this was. It wasn't Syracuse. It's after Notre Dame, I say. It's in Death Valley.
Yeah.
Anyway, he took the selfie, and I'm like, oh, Korey got out there. And then he was supposed to get out to LSU for that 55-17 stomping and then cancel that visit. So, like, now I'm back to thinking perhaps maybe USC in the lean. Perhaps the number 1 player in the country ends up at Clemson again?
Yeah.
What do you...
I mean, who knows? Like, his recruitment has been kind of, like, all over the place. Because usually kids, when they decommit, man, they don't go back to the school they decommitted from, even if you got that tiger tattoo on your forearm. Mm-hmm. But he's a tough one to read, man. I'm an SC guy, man. I'm praying that he goes to SC, but I think he's going to go back to Clemson, too. That makes sense. Could you imagine that D-line? Him, Brian Bresee? Oh, my God.
Miles Murphy? Yes.
Ugh,
yeah, and well, I mean, it's 2018 all over again, right? Like, that's the thing. And then Brent has basically shut down every single head coaching rumor that there is. It's like, yo, Brent, what job are you waiting on, dog? I got it. Like, I'm good. I'm straight. And that must be such a cool thing to recruit from because it's unshakable. Like any rumor that comes up against Brent, everybody gets to slap it down if they're a Clemson fan because it's just not moving. Now, like one of the things I find to be interesting about him and his game, and you mentioned SC, I look at SoCal, and I'm sure you do this, right? Mm-hmm. And you go, why is everybody going to Oregon, Arizona State, Texas, wherever? Because, like, Michigan, like, Ohio State. I'm going, Clay Helton has led a charmed existence. He managed to hold on to his job for 2 years straight after I thought he was going to get fired. And now he's undefeated, right? After getting run, final 2 minutes, you pull off a miracle against Arizona State. Getting run, final minute against Arizona, you pull off a miracle. And now all of a sudden they seem like they got something. What is it possible he goes on a recruiting tear here? Because it feels like they just win the kids in their area, they're going to win national championships.
Yeah, man. Back, the Pete Carroll days, that was what they did is they recruited, Southern California. They were the best. No one was leaving SoCal. They were going to SC. And with Dante Williams coming in from Oregon, man, that's been the key for me for USC recruiting now, because this is a guy who is up there with anybody in the country when it comes to recruiting. And he's a guy that can relate to the players, man. Players love that. They want a coach. They want a guy they can relate to. Kind of, the age difference isn't too crazy. And that's what Dante Williams brings to the table. He's also a great defensive backs coach on top of all that. But I feel like with Dante Williams there back at SC, they're going to be able to compete. And I think they're going to get a couple of flips here, during the early signing day period. That's going to help their 2021 class. Obviously, Jake Garcia decommitted, man. I feel like he's obviously going to the U, but they're going to they're in the mix for Jackson Dart. They already got Miller Moss at quarterback, and they got Julian Simons, a straight beast. And if they get Korey Foreman, man, that's going to be huge. But I do think he's going back to Clemson, but we'll see.
So, like in looking at this broadly, I thought that perhaps the early signing period should be nixed because you can't take any official visits or whatever, and then they extend the dead period through April, which is like, okay, so what are we doing? How do you think this is going to affect the decisions made by kids? Because, these rash of decommitments feel like the kind where people are getting told we don't have room for you in the boat, as opposed to kids just deciding I didn't get to visit. So, are we going to see a bunch of kids going to transfer? Or are we going to see more kids waiting to try to do this in February? How do you see this all working out?
I feel like we're going to get a lot of kids that signed early signing day period just to, some kids might even do it just because they're planning on to enroll early and get to that college by January, because, there's kids in states right now that they're still not sure if they're going to be able to play senior season. Even if the season was, moved to the spring, there's still going to be a chance that they don't get that opportunity. But this year's just been wild, man. Like, this year's been the year to don't expect anything because things change every single day. But, props to the kids that committed early, because it's just weird, man. Like you can't go visit, you can't do anything. So kids that were waiting to commit, a lot of those kids' places might have got taken up too. So it's kind of bizarre. But the kids I really feel for, RJ, are the kids that, were planning on playing their senior season and get a chance to get recruited late. They didn't get that opportunity in California, Washington, Nevada, Oregon, the DMV area. So it's been just bizarre all year for sure.